Hi guys, and welcome back to Geeks 40k channel. This time we welcome James back to the channel. You might have seen James's Nurgle a little while back. He's bringing Daemons again, but things have changed a little bit. However, I'm going to let him introduce his own army. You join us on an Imperial world that's fallen under the corrupting influence of chaos. Fairly rural world with a little bit of industry going on towards one edge of the table. The mission we're playing today is Emperor's Will. And as a result of that, we've got two objective markers. Mine is down here, this little cache of bolt guns. And James has put his objective marker in a similar kind of place down here, just behind the Promethean pipelines. The deployment we're doing today is the Vanguard deployment. So basically corner to corner. Let's go and have a look at the armies. Okay guys, so here's my 1850 points worth of Black Templars. Warlord today is this guy, a chaplain. He is going along with a command squad to make the Reclusiarch command squad formation that you'll find in the Space Marine Codex. His command squad consists of a guy with a power sword, we've got a guy with a flamer, at the back there we've got a guy with a melt gun, got a company champion, and we've got an apothecary. And their ride is new to the channel. This is a Razorback that I've painted up. That one's got assault cannons on the roof for its offensive weapons. Then for the troop contingent, I've got two squads that are basically Crusader squads. We've got a guy with a power fist, we've got a sword brother with a power sword and a combi flamer. And the rest of the guys have got bolt pistols and chainswords. They've got a rhino as a transport. Second squad is basically identical. The only difference is we've got a tech marine in here, and the tech marine's got a servo harness for some extra punching power. I've also got a Crusader squad down here with a plasma cannon and a plasma gun and bolters. These guys are really just intended to be a bit more static during the battle. Elites wise, got a Contemptor Dreadnought with twin Kara's assault cannons. A heavy support consists of a Storm Raven with assault cannons and melt guns, or multi-melters rather. I've also got Vindicator, I've got a Trilas Predator, and I don't think this has been on the channel before either. This is a Whirlwind. If you're pretty new to the hobby, you won't recognise this variant of the Whirlwind. This is a very old kind of Rogue Trader era Whirlwind. And in fast attack, I've got a Storm Talon, complete with assault cannons and the Skyhammer missile system. So that's my 1850 points worth of Black Templars.
Okay guys, hi. So yeah, this is my 1850 point demonic host army list for today's game. I don't know if anyone remembers, last time I was on the channel I had pretty much just a Nurgle force, but I've changed things up a little bit and added in some Zeech elements that we'll have a look at in a bit. But for today's game, what I have decided to bring is a trusty Great Unclean One as my Warlord, who is Mastery level 3 and is also going to have a couple of greater rewards as well. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a nice number of combinations with some of those rewards. Filling up the HQ slot in a primary CAD. I then also have a Nurgle Herald, who's Mastery level 2 and has also got the Demonic Loki to give Feel No Pain. And then I have two level 3 Heralds of Zeech right here, who will basically just be sitting in with the blue horrors, or pink horrors, sorry, and give me plenty of warp charge to spend with Fate Weaver. So yeah, that's kind of like what they'll be there for. Filling out the troop slots then for my primary CAD, I've got my lovely little 6 Nurgling bases, and then I've got a unit of actually 11 Plague Bearers in total, I think. It should be 11, with a standard in there as well. And then because I've got the Great Unclean one, I can then of course take Nurgle Demon Princes for my heavy slot. So these two again, they're actually going to be to help boost up my warp charge. They're both mastery level 1. One of them is always going to have the Grimoire of True Names. He'll be the one who's following Fate Weaver around, try and give him a bit of protection, and then seeing how the battle goes, he could maybe split off and maybe go and help the Warlord. So yeah, they may even roll on a Malefic table, maybe do some summoning, end up in some corners, depending on kind of what game we have, multiple objectives. They could have maybe summoned some units on different points as well. So the 2+ Chink, they should be pretty survivable. That's it. And then my allied detachment, I've then actually got Fate Weaver. So yeah, just obviously standard stock Fate Weaver, up to all kinds of shenanigans with 2 heads and a ridiculous amount of powers that he's going to know. Then again, so my troops choice is going to actually be 18 pink horrors that we see here. And so yeah, these guys will be really just kind of camping on an objective, give me some loads of warp charge, and then of course maybe even putting some pot shots up into the sky, maybe throwing out some kind of Tzeentch powers here, there and everywhere. And then I really wanted to try out these guys because I really just love the models, and I want to see what the Flames of Tzeentch are like, maybe deep striking them. I thought they'd be good in a list, maybe if you come up against Guard or maybe Tau, you can put those templates down, but with 2 wounds each, strength 4, toughness 4, yeah, they might be quite versatile, so it'd be interesting to see what they do. I might be using them wrong. If you do have any hints or tips on anything that I do with anything with this demon army, I'd love to hear people's advice on how maybe I could be playing them different, or even other units maybe I should be trying. So yeah, any comments below would be really appreciated. But yeah, that is my 1850 point demonic host army list.
Okay, so Black Templars using the wedge shape deployment to basically form a little bit of a vanguard down here, looking to make their way around the building and take the fight to the enemy. However, we've not forgotten to defend the objective. We've got 1 Crusader squad tucked nicely into that fuel dump, with a little bit of backup from a Vindicator for the Whirlwind, and also the Trilas Predator. Up against me, down this end of the table, we've got a whole bunch of pink horrors hanging out on the objective this side. We've got Demon Prince hiding out in the centre of the battlefield behind one of the buildings. Plague Bearers to the side. Great Unclean One has just about managed to squeeze himself inside that building. And then a little bit of an outreach force down here. We've got Fate Weaver, and we've got another Demon Prince hiding out behind the buildings just down there. So a little bit of jockeying for position down here. The Vindicator moving forward. Nothing was in its range, so I've moved up. It's just within 24 inches of the Plague Bearers that are hiding out behind the building. It's going to be one hell of a lucky shot, but it's going to be worth a punt. Down here, my rhinos have all moved flat out, just trying to get up the board as quickly as possible. And my Contemptor, I reckon he's got a shot on there, but obviously there's going to be some serious cover saves in play over there, but we've definitely got a shot on there. Trilas has got a shot on through the building there, but James has hidden his force pretty well, so there's not going to be a huge amount of shooting going on. But let's see what happens. Okay, so as predicted, not a particularly exciting round of shooting there. The 3 rhinos and the Razorback down here, all snap firing at the Great and Clean One there, all failed to hit home. However, the Contemptor Dreadnought managed to get 1 wound on for the Great Unclean One down there, so 12 shots. Fair amount of them hit home, but ridiculous cover saves meant that most of those didn't register. But we did manage to get a wound, which is something. The Vindicator, that put a shot on into the centre of the battlefield down here. Unfortunately, scattered wildly out of play. The Whirlwind, that one also fired in towards the Plague Bearers. Their invulnerable save protected them from a shot that did actually hit home. And then the Trilas down here, Did make a shot through the window. Got 2 hits, but again, high cover saves meant that none of those actually registered as wounds.
What I did here is I moved the Great Unclean One out of his little hidey hole and moving him towards the approaching Templars, and then the Plague Bearers filled his hole inside the building. The first of the Nurgle Demon Princes, he's still gliding, so he's just jump infantry. So I figure I can line up a charge for the next turn on any one of those tanks or whatever they spit out. And then the other pair of flyers, they are actually gliding, whichever one means they're properly flying, not just jumping around the place. And what was important to note here was actually you had the Grimoire of True Names on the Nurgle Demon Prince, and he used that on Kairos. I had to actually use Kairos' reroll to get that off, but yeah, so Kairos now has a 3+ invuln save. But I think everything should be fine with the Demon Prince on a 2+ jink. So that is Chaos Demon's movement. Now on to the psychic phase. Number of powers managed to manifest themselves. I got endurance and also warp speed, I think it is, on my Great and Clean One, just give them a bit of resilience in case anything does appear. I then also managed to cast Molten Beam from Kairos into the Contemptor. Obviously Molten, or Melter rule, sorry, being so close, took that off the board. And then I also cast Summoning from the Demon Prince, hence why there's a unit of Plague Bearers. Both of them though managed to perils, so both of them lost a wound, and the Nurgle Demon Prince has also just managed to forget how to summon stuff anymore, so he won't be doing that again. And I think that's pretty much it for the psychic phase.
Okay, so we've got a flyer of our own on the board now. Storm Talon is on. Sadly not joined by the Raven just yet. In the middle of the battlefield, the Vindicators decided to back up just a little bit and also line itself up nicely for these Plague Bearers who have just turned up, and hopefully we're going to go straight back to the warp where they came from. Down with the Rhinos down here, these guys have moved forward again, and the front 2 Rhinos have disgorged their cargo, so we've got command squad at the front. We've got one of the Crusader squads just behind there, clearly with the Demon Prince as a target. Okay, so the Storm Talon did manage to get a couple of shots in down here at the Demons, but unfortunately their cover saves meant that nothing actually happened down there at all. However, the same can't be said for these guys. The Plague Bearers down here, unfortunately too stupid to run off, otherwise they probably would have done. There's 8 models removed there thanks to the Vindicator, which is awesome. The Whirlwind put a shot over into the guys in the building down here. I don't think anything happened there. No, nothing happened there at all. Oh no, one guy was taken off. Trilas Predator down there also put a shot in down here at the Great and Clean One, but it was a long shot and didn't hit. These guys down here, however, I mean, it's a big squad of units down here, and they have managed to take off the Demon Prince, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, there was one casualty. So down here there was a guy with a plasma gun. He managed to hit, managed to wound, but the second shot made the plasma gun explode. He failed his armor save. Another sacrifice to the Emperor. Never mind. So not a bad round of shooting all in. Pretty happy with that.
Okay, so Demons turn 2. It's my movement phase. Not much happened with the Tzeentch Pink Horrors. They just staying put, taking that objective. Those guys then decide to stay in the building as well, just to again protect the objective here. However, Great and Clean One has decided to march out and try and take on those guys in the corner head to head. Demon Prince has also come over to try and help. He is now swooping, so he's moving like jump pack infantry. He also cast the Grimoire of True Names. The Grimoire? Yes, it's called the Grimoire on the Great and Clean One. So he now has +2 to the Invulnerable save. I also just kind of moved the remaining Plague Bearers up a little bit. And what was also quite nice is that my flamers actually just landed spot on right where I put them. So got quite lucky, but they've deep striked right there, or deep struck. I don't know. Deep struck. Let's go with that. And then Kairos has come up here to lend a helping hand to his fellow Tzeentch demons. And we also have one of my favourite units ever, one of these little nurglings that came on through outflank on this side. So they're just crouching down behind the building, and hopefully John will just ignore them for the rest of the game, maybe. But we'll see. So that's Chaos Demon's movement. We're now going to go on to the fun psychic phase, and then the shooting phase. I managed to buff the Great Unclean One with endurance and also warp speed for the impending combat that's hopefully about to happen. And then, yeah, I didn't have any. Well, he's forgotten his psychic power, so he's not doing anything else. Then over here, what we have is obviously from the deep striking flamers. And then also, sorry, in the psychic phase with Kairos, he managed to summon some more plague bearers for John to try and deal with, and he also used his molten beam pyromancy spell from his left head, managed to take out the tank, so that was all good. And then that was pretty much it for the psychic phase, the shooting phase, and of course with the 3 templates down here, they only actually managed to kill one, but then John failed his toughness test of Warp Flame, then killed another one, so at least they don't have any feel no pain, which is good. So yeah, starting to surround John a little bit at this end, and that's it for the psychic phase and the shooting phase. So now we're going to go see if I make this charge. So I guess if I don't come back, then I completely failed. So on to see if I can charge him with a Great Unclean One.
Okay, so thanks to the woeful charge rolls from the Great Unclean One, failing not just once but twice to get into combat, the Black Templars are counting their blessings and forming up a firing squad and getting ready to, probably going to have to charge in as well, realistically. So they're getting ready for that. Down here, the Demon Prince has got something else to think about. The Rhino's hopped its cargo out, and these guys are getting ready to shoot. Unfortunately, we can't assault, but we can get a few shots off. There's only 3 wounds left on that guy, so quietly confident. And if that doesn't work out, Storm Talon's moved a bit further down the battlefield as well, so we get some shots from there too. Sadly, I failed the roll for the Storm Raven to join in as well, so that's not happening this turn. We have to make do. The Vindicator's backed up, and I'm not quite sure what it's going to target yet. I'm a little bit worried about dropping a Pipeblade of Death on my own guys. And to that end, the squad that were hiding out in the fuel dump have made a move back out of the way, just to get out of flamer range and hopefully avoid any stray templates. My Trilas Predator has clearly got what's the blue guy called again?
Fate Weaver.
The Fate Weaver, yeah, in mind, as you can see. We'll see what happens down here. There's a lot of targets. I'm not quite sure what order I'm going to start shooting in. And James is right. The little Gribbly is hiding down the back there. I'm just going to ignore them for now and deal with them later on. Okay, so despite throwing absolutely everything at the Great Unclean One, these 2 squads down here have failed to make even a scratch. So no wounds taken there at all. A lot of shots wasted on not a lot of results. However, down here, the other Demon Prince is, well, he's gone. These guys down here opened up, took a wound off, or 2 maybe, I forget exactly how many, and then it was down to the Storm Talon there just to finish him off. So he's been removed from play, which is good. These guys down here as well, the Flamers guys, these have been almost completely removed. The Vindicators fired a shot, taking 2 guys straight out, instant kill for those guys. Is he fearless, mate? Or he is fearless, so he's going to stand there and take it. He's watched his mates get blown to bits, and he's going to carry on anyway. Subjects of being blown to bits down here as well. Plague Bearers. These guys got a bit of a firing squad going on down here, and they've taken 5 guys off from there. Again, I know those are going to kind of stay in the game, so that's how it is, I guess. The Predator down here fired all of its last cannons down here as well, and lots of jinking going on, lots of saves. Not a lot of wounds, unfortunately, from my point of view, but not a bad round of shooting all in, I guess. Well, what a round of combat that was. Huge amount of dice throwing and a ridiculous amount of saves. Just means that really you didn't take a single wound from all of these guys, and I've lost 3 guys into the equation. So even with the chaplain in there and even with the extra warlord trait, no dice. Can't believe how tough this guy is. Though I'm told that his invulnerable save is going to drop down next turn because the grimoire's now off the table. So we'll see if he's a little bit more squishy next turn.
These guys are just chilling out in the palm trees. Not doing very much at the moment. They don't need to. But we've then got the plague bearers. They've decided to leave the building, go and chase down some marines. This guy's obviously locked in combat. And over here, the other 2 plague bearers just thought they'd stumble over the shrine of the Aquila. And then we have the lone Flamer of Zinch taking on the Vindicator. We'll see how that goes. And then for movement, we had Kairos Fate Weaver. He just decided that he'd just fly over to try and take a pot shot on the Predator. And then the Nurglings stumbled out, or just fell out of that building, basically, to chase down these Marines and try and sandwich them in between those Plague Bearers as well. So some decisive moves, and we'll go on to the Psychic and the Shooting phase. I managed to cast Molten Beam with Kairos again, but this time actually he didn't get lucky and exploded. He just took a whole point but has immobilized the Predator, so yeah, no, that's okay. So 1 whole point down. Don't think I cast anything else over here for Psychic phase. Over here, John actually managed to nullify my warp speed, so I have cast Endurance. The funny thing is he perils and then managed to go like all crazy psychotic that you do when you roll a 6 on the perils table. So he's got something like +3 to his ward save and some other quite cool buffs like Armor Bane and Flesh Bane, I think.
Because he wasn't tough enough already.
No, he really wasn't. So, hey, that's all cool. And I then also cast from here. Actually decided to cast Smite, which might have hindered me slightly because I've now doubled my charge range. But hey, that was good fun. So that was it for the Psychic phase. I then rolled on the Warpstone table and Nurgle's Rot. I rolled a 6, so I didn't roll anything for my unengaged Zinch models, but John then did actually manage to take, I think it was from this unit actually, sorry.
Yeah, over there by the Predator.
Yeah. Two guys died.
2.
So Nurgle wasn't impressed with them. And that's it. So now I'm onto my combat phase. I better not roll 1s here. I can't ignore that combat, and we'll see. Hopefully I'll get in. We'll see. I'll come back shortly. So this guy has really turned a bit of a joker. He has a 2+ invulnerable save at the moment thanks to the Warp Surge result. Turned into a bit of a tank given that he is a high toughness anyway. And I've also got Endurance cast on him. So no surprise here, this combat phase I've taken no wounds, and I've also managed to take I think another 2 out of John's command squad. And yeah, no other wounds done to him there. So we're just going to progress through and see how that goes the next turn. Then the other combats that we've got over here, yeah, surprise, it was a bit of a long shot, but yeah, I didn't manage to get the rear armour. But the little Nurglings, though, they have done very well, taking down, between them and the Plague Bears, I think 3 of the squad here. They didn't run away, so we're just going to carry on with that combat there. So that's pretty much it, how things are shaping up. We're going to now go see if John can, well, he is definitely going to bring in his last flyer, and as we go into Black Templars turn 4.
Okay, so finally, by virtue of automatically appearing, the Storm Raven is in the game, and straight to take the fight down here to these guys sitting on the objective. Storm Talons also continue to proceed down the board, heading in the same kind of general direction. Back here, the 2 tanks that have carried these squads into the tar pit that is the battle with the Great Unclean One, they're breaking around, making a move to get around him, and the squad in the centre there is also making a move onto these Plague Bearers into the middle. Over on this side, not quite so much of an aggressive picture. The Vindicator's, he's not particularly intimidated by the flamer down here, but he's got to back up just so he can get a shot. So he's reversed the 6 inches that allow him to make a shot. My Predator cannot move, so just rotate the turret round, and we're going to take a punt at shooting the Fate Weaver at the top there, who's busy flying around. So we're going to need a 6 on that one to get a hit off, but you never know your luck. So the Storm Talon has opened up down here, and we've removed 5 models down here. So that's 1 warp charge down off this squad as well, which is always a little bit of a bonus. The Razorback and the squad over there and the Storm Raven between them have managed to take down, what, 6 of the Plague Bearers in the centre there. So they're tough little fellas, those guys, with those invulnerable saves. And Feel No Pain really does mount up, so I'm quite pleased to take that many down. 6 down is not bad. There's 4 left in the squad. The Vindicator did let loose down here in Operation Overkill, but unfortunately scattered well out of reach. And my Trilast Predator had a crack at shooting the Fate Weaver down from the sky, but even with 2 dice failed to get 6. So not to be this turned, fairly small amount of shooting really, not a lot going on there, but I don't know, it's hard to get a slightly better feeling about this battle. There's certainly a lot less chaos on the board now, and that does make me feel a little bit better. So the battle rages on down here with the Great Unclean One. Unfortunately my Chaplain has succumbed, so that's Slay the Warlord for James. So he's no more, unfortunately. Slightly better news down at this part of the board. These guys charged in and have pretty much wiped out the Plague Bearers down there. There's just the leader dude there on 1 wound left, so that's pretty good. Not too bad at all. Down further down here, the combat down here was a complete non-event. There was some hitting, there was some saves. Net result is it's all exactly as we went into that turn, so nothing has changed down there.
We have the pink horrors just hanging out in the jungle, just taking it easy, having some pina coladas, and we have not a lot more movement down here. Yeah, we're locked in combat. The one thing that was success was Kairos Fate Weaver here. He vector struck the Demolisher, and yeah, he took out the main armament, which was good. So lost hull point and the weapons destroyed. And we can also see there that the Flamer at Tzeentch is relentless here at trying to take out that Demolisher. So he's just chasing it down. He's going to try and attack that next turn. So that's it for my movement phase. Nothing else really to report there. So we will now move on to Demons, Psychic and Shooting phase. This guy is just loving it. He has been pretty good this game. So psychic powers that he managed to manifest was he shot flicking fires of Tzeentch at where the Imperial Flyer Storm Talon used to be, and managed to wreck that out of the sky. And he also, as he did his vector strike. Actually, did he do anything else this turn? I don't think he did. Oh, that's right. He summoned these guys. So he summoned yet more demons into this world, and it's just really kind of giving John a lot to deal with this end of the board. So that was quite useful. And this side then, we also cast a couple of buffs. So we've got endurance and warp speed on the Great and Clean One. He's now back up to a normal invulnerable save of 5+. So he'll be more susceptible, but he is still pretty tough to kill. So that's it for the Demons, Psychic and Shooting phase. Nothing else to report there. So we're going to go into the combat and we'll have a look and see how this guy gets on. We'll look how this guy gets on here on his last wound. And we'll also see if I can charge in, take out that tank and mop up the Marines over there. So we'll be back in a jiffy. Really kind of grinding it out over here with the Nurglings and Plague Bearers, and there's Tactical Marine. There is just one left, but he's standing his ground. He shall know no fear, or whatever that silly rule may be. And that's that over there. Then all the way over here Yeah, the Herald of Nurgle didn't really hang around much longer. He's gone back into the warp to fight another day. And then we have the Great Unclean One, who is just tanking everything like a Great Unclean One would. So he won combat by 2, slowly grinding these guys down. But yeah, the other tanks are starting to work his way around him. So he needs to kind of get a wiggle on, so we can start taking out these tanks before they can test this objective. So anyway, that's it for Chaos Demons turn 4. Over to the Templars for turn 5.
So the drive for the objective continues. Continue to go round the Great Unclean One. I've got 2 Razorback, my 1 Rhino heading that way. Squad's making its way through the building. Storm Raven's coming in to lend a bit of firepower down here. The other Rhino's slowly making its way across as well. My Vindicator is the only other unit that can actually move. Can't really do a lot. It can't shoot. It can't scare anybody off the board because most of the units on here are fearless. So it is just driving towards the objective just in case it has the opportunity to contest it in some way. And everything else is locked in combat or immobilized. So not a lot of movement to do. So we're withering round of shooting there from the Rhino, the Razorback, the squad down there, and the Storm Raven means there are 7 dead pink horrors. That's good because it's pushing them off the objective. I haven't actually got the tape measure out and checked that, but they're certainly getting pushed away from the objective, and that's really positive. The only other shooting really going on down here is a Laz. Tried to get a lucky shot in at the Fate Weaver, but again, the fact that it's a flyer just means that he got away with that one for another turn. And that's the end of shooting. It's, again, not a lot to be shooting. Pretty decimating round of combat there. As you can see, the Tech Marine is last man standing. This squad has been wiped out around him. Yeah, seems to have gone from nothing going on there to all of a sudden all hell breaking loose. So the Tech Marine is on his own down there. Over this side of the table, the poor guy there left on his own has succumbed to the Nurglings and the Plague Bearers. He's dead. James has wisely consolidated towards the objective.
These guys have just consolidated onto the objective. I do have a couple of plans in the psychic phase for them to see if they can shake off this Razorback that has snuck up around my Great Unclean One. I've also moved Fate Weaver. He's actually... Oh, I need to resolve the Vector Strike. I haven't done that. I should do that in my movement phase, but I'll do that afterwards in a second. See if I can take some hull points off of that flyer. And then over here, I have, again, just consolidated up. Flamer is still chasing the Vindicator. He will take a hull. So during the Chaos Demons Psychic phase for turn 5, I cast again Endurance and Warp Speed on a Great Unclean One. Essentially really just try and make sure that he survives and I don't lose the Warlord. I then, I did resolve the Vector Strike, but forgot that Fate Weaver was only strength 5, and this thing is like toughness 12 everywhere. Just not even toughness, armor value 12 everywhere. Yeah, forget that one. But I did also manage to cast Possession from one of the Tzeentch Heralds, which subsequently killed him, but that's okay because he was on 1 wound anyway. And yeah, he spawned out a Great Unclean One, or at least John's been very kind and letting me proxy this as a Great Unclean One. So he's arrived effectively just from deep strike within 6 inches from that possessed Psyker. Yeah, so that was it for the psychic phase. And then for the resulting warps on table, I rolled Glorious Rot, but nothing happened at all with that. So moving on to the combat phase, we're going to have to see what happens over here. If I manage to take out the Tech Priest, Marine guy, big arms on his back, and see if I can take out that Vindicator and then also that Predator as well. So I'll be back in a jiffy.
Hey guys, so that's the end of the combat phase down here. Essentially not a lot happened. These guys banging Let's start again. Okay guys, so that's the end of the combat phase. These guys are busy battering blunt and rusty swords at the side of ceramite steel battle tanks and not having any success. I do particularly feel for this guy down here, who has basically spent his entire life chasing the Vindicator around to no real avail whatsoever. But you've got to admire his determination. Anyway, on to more important issues. We've rolled for another turn, and that is the end of the game. So we've worked out some victory points, and essentially this objective down here is still, albeit meekly contested by that Predator. Over this side, my Razorback is contesting that objective down there, although how long that would realistically last is anyone's guess, but that's the situation at the end of the game. We've worked out that we've both got line breakers, so that's 1 victory point each. However, James will take the victory on this one on the basis of the fact that he's got Slay the Warlord and also First Blood. So James wins 3-1. Once again, guys, if you've enjoyed watching this, then please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to look us up on Facebook and Twitter as well. We really appreciate your guys' interaction, so please search us out on all those different medias, and we look forward to seeing you on the next battle report.